Bordeaux prices are falling. U.S. Cabernet prices are falling. New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc sales are falling. Do we have good news? I guess it's lower prices for us. And oh yeah, there's major wine fraud case rocking the Swiss wine world as well. All that and more on this episode of This Week Uncorked. Well, here we are, episode 44 of This Week Uncorked for May 19th, 2025. I'm Brett Martin from Cork and Journey. We're your number one source for Corkage fees. We also have winery reviews, wine reviews, restaurant reviews, all that and more. Check it out over at corkandjourney.com. And with that, the sky is falling. Well, it's not really, but let's get to the news. You know, things have been a little rough in Bordeaux for a while. They've been talking about some vintages. Anyway, the 2024 vintage, basically they pre-sell it even before it gets into the bottle. And, well, it's the worst market in 20 years. You basically have had a 30% drop in prices. So good news for consumers if you like Bordeaux. Who doesn't? Anyway, from this article from the Australian Financial Review, some of Bordeaux's top winemakers have slashed prices for their latest vintage of yet-to-be bottled wines by more than 30% in a further blow to a centuries-old market as wealthy investors step back from fine wine purchases. A poor quality harvest last year due to heavy rainfall and cooler temperatures, a large amount of higher quality bottled wine already available on the market, and a lack of interest among young collectors have made all of this year's so-called en primeur, this is where basically in the bottle, before you've done it, a tough one for the French wine producers this year. So it's rough, and I've been hearing this, that you're seeing a pullback, and a lot of there are companies, a company called VinoVest, where you're basically investing mostly in French wines. We've seen a steady decline. Have they hit bottom or not? Are people still willing to pay $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for a bottle of wine? And in most cases with Bordeaux, don't even think about drinking it for 20 years. So anyway, interesting, but we're seeing that kind of decline. And also with climate change, it's unavoidable. They've got to make some changes. They've got to make some changes in grapes. They've got to make a change to a lot of stuff they're doing because things have changed. And Wine Searcher, W. Blake Gray, has U.S. Cabernet drinkers trade down. Not necessarily a bad thing, but basically he highlights how recent sales figures spell trouble for producers banking on their premium wine to carry them through the challenging economy. While Cabernet remains popular among consumers, the era of spending top dollar on an average wine appears to be fading fast. Drinkers are increasingly opting for more affordable bottles. So from the article, SipSource analyst Dale Stratton said those figures show three separate trends. White wines are outperforming red wines, and white wines are cheaper. Sparkling wines over $20. Everything bubbly other than Prosecco is really struggling, and high-end wines are selling at a discount. The last part will be of interest to you Wine Searcher readers, writes W. Blake Gray. Stratton said that wines of the $50 and up volume sales were up 3.3% from December to March, but the revenue generated from them was down 5.4%, meaning they're cheaper. They're selling them. They're still buying the expensive wines. They're buying a few more bottles than before, but they're paying less for them. So good news there. So maybe this glut of grapes, the lack of consumption for us wine drinkers anyway, this could work out to be a win-win-win. Who knows? Hey, and for a quick shout out to ourselves over here, if you haven't checked out, if you're going to a restaurant, you're thinking about bringing your own bottle of wine, head over to Cork and Journey, your number one source for Corkage fees. That's really the focus over there. If you go there, you can type in a restaurant, type in the city, it'll give it to you. You can search by city. You can search by area. You can search from our homepage. You can go to our Corkage page. There's just a million different ways to go ahead and, try to find what you're looking for. It also does a geolocation. So you can say, hey, surprise me. I want to know a restaurant that's nice, that's, 4 stars in this area. What can I find? Give me something within a 10-mile radius. You can look at the Corkage fees and you can go from there. So check out corkandjourney.com. And while you're there, might as well check out our restaurant and winery reviews as well. And with that, continuing on with the news, VinePair has an article. After decades of growth, could sliding New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc sales spell trouble. Sauvignon Blanc in New Zealand is falling. This has always been an interesting one for me. This is a lot of wine drinkers either love it, you hate it. It's kind of hard to say. Sauvignon Blanc in New Zealand tastes nothing like Sancerre, which is Sauvignon Blanc from France, from Sancerre region. It's like a whole different thing. It's like grape juice, brambleberry, I don't know what, grapefruit juice, I would say is what it is. It's got a whole bunch of that. A lot of people like it. I think it can be very good with certain seafood. But man, they came out of nowhere, kind of created their own category with this New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, it's just different than any other. The grape, just the terroir there is different, and it produces a different tasting grape. I like it sometimes. Sometimes it can be a little much. The mass-produced stuff is junk. My personal opinion, I won't say names, but, Kim. Anyway, but there's a lot out there. So you kind of got to pick and choose, judge what you get. So from the article, about 85% of those New Zealand exports are one lonely variety, Sauvignon Blanc. That's a whole lot of eggs in one little basket. And concerningly, over the past 2 years, the value of New Zealand wine exports has seen its first substantial slide in modern history, down to 2018 levels after peaking in 2022. Now look, it's been on a run for a long time. So it's kind of like it went from here, it went all the way up to here, and now it's just kind of come down, to there. So it's still doing fine, but it kind of fit with the whole theme of, Bordeaux's falling, California's falling, New Zealand's falling. Anyway, moving right along. Hey, Wine Searcher has got, I love the wine fraud stories. They're so good. So wine fraud has rocked Switzerland. There's a great book, Billionaire's Vinegar, about the fake bottle of Thomas Jefferson wine. Anyway, got to read it. It seems that it's just a constant thing. People can be fooled. So in this one, basically Barnaby Eels, writing for Wine Searcher, basically goes through and just a nice article about fraud. That's basically it. Bringing in cheap bulk Spanish wine, mixing it with some other stuff, passing it on as different kinds of wine, buying a lot of expensive cars, flashy stuff. Anyway, gentleman over there has been convicted. His name is Cedric Flaxion, now of felony and fraud, forgery charges. But it seems like every couple months, man, someone's pulling something over someone's eyes, taking cheap wine and trying to mix it up, make it taste good. I mean, I'm always shocked, if you read this book, which is really, really good. This is Benjamin Wallace, The Billionaire's Vinegar. Man, these are some of the best palettes out there. And people that really know their forgery, they can do some interesting stuff. They can really make some wines taste fairly decent. So that book is worth taking a read. And with that, let's go to our wine and winery of the week. We go in streaks. I think I was on a whole Valle de Guadalupe streak a while ago. Now I'm kind of on a Las Vegas streak right now. And then we're taking off for Europe for 90 days. So there'll be a whole Italy streak in there, and then a France streak, and then a German streak. There'll be a whole bunch of where we kind of run through these various things. But we're going to stay on the Las Vegas streak as our wine and wineries. Well, this is the Wine Cellar. So for our winery, it's the Wine Cellar at the Rio Hotel in Las Vegas. Now, this place is reopened in March 2025, or actually at Rio March 2024. I want to take that back, after basically being down for all of COVID. This used to be one of the premier wine tasting rooms in the world. It got gutted. It was a sale, COVID, everything else, but they are coming back. And the manager is home, and he is doing a fantastic job. And it's slowly but surely making its little comeback. So if you were at the Rio, then definitely you'll want to check out the Wine Cellar. They do tastings all of the time. But if you're just in town, it's just a great place to go. It's like you've been transported to another world, downstairs into the cellar, and a beautiful tasting room. They do some really, really nice stuff there. So shout out to the whole team over there. They're been open now for a little over a year since COVID. COVID wrecked them. Crazy thing is, you talk about loyalty. All the people that work there, they were kind of there for 17, 18 years from the opening of it. Didn't have a job for 3-4 years. I had to go work other places. As soon as they reopen it, the whole staff's back. So we're checking that out as well. And then our wine of the week, we're going to do a nice little Barolo here. And this is Giorgio Sandrone. Very good, approachable, 93 points, $50. Man, this had dark cherry plum. This is a winner. I don't even know how we stumbled into this, but whenever you get a Nebbiolo this good, you got to go for it. So there you go. So check that out. That is worth it all the way around. And with that, we'll go to our restaurant and Corkage of the week. So we were at the at the Wine Cellar doing a tasting of Farniente. They did a Farniente tasting, which was really good because they brought in the Post and Beam, they brought in the Nickel. They had all of it. And, I really I've had their wines on occasion, but not a lot. And this was I said, why not? We'll give it a try. We'll go to the Rio, go to the Wine Cellar, see what they got. It was a lovely tasting, really, really good. Really impressed with what Farniente is doing and what they're doing with some of their other labels as well. These are all single vineyard. The Post and Beam's all single vineyard. Anyway, good stuff. So with that, we're there. I'm like, well, they got the VooDoo Steakhouse. It's up on the top floor, 60th floor, something like that. Let's go check that out. It's supposed to be a great steakhouse. How do I put this? Okay. Food, very good. And from the photos you're looking at here, you would not know it, but the bottom line is the place is really, really, really run down. Walls are dinged up. The fabric in the chairs is torn. Everything's just it's seen better days across the board. And that's the problem. In Las Vegas, there's a million fantastic steakhouses, or hundreds if I don't want to exaggerate. And so even though the food here was very good, the place was just a little dirty. Dings in the walls, nothing, just not quite up to snuff. So we kind of gave it 3 out of 5 stars, mostly for just the ambiance. On a final note on this, though, the entire Rio is undergoing a massive. They got a new owner, Dreamscape Companies, and they're investing $340 million to kind of bring it up to where it was in its glory days. So hopefully that means they'll invest in VooDoo Steak and maybe invest down on the Wine Cellar, help them a little bit getting that cellar going. But right now it's kind of like, maybe we'll try it. If something happens, sure, we'll give it another shot if we see that it's been improved. But right now, if I was there and I was at the Rio and I was staying at the Rio, I would go to VooDoo. It's got great food, but I would not go out of your way to go there just because of that ambiance and the rundownness. But food was very good. So, take your shot. Anyway, corkage fee is only $35 a bottle, 2-bottle max. They actually waive the corkage fee if you bring a bottle from the Wine Cellar. So we actually brought a bottle of Farniente because guess what? We were at that tasting and we bought a bottle. And so that worked out well. So they waived the tasting for us as well. So anyway, that is going to wrap up yet another edition of This Week Uncorked. Thank you so much for stopping by. As always, we'd love it if you would subscribe to us on our YouTube channel and your favorite social media application. Follow us. We'd love that as well. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great weekend, everybody. Cheers.